Hitting the ground before hitting the golf ball is one of the most frustrating shots in golf. It is a weak shot, it's inconsistent. Nobody wants to hit it. And I'm going to show you how to avoid it so that you can strike your irons better than ever before. The heavy shot, that shot where we hit the ground before hitting the golf ball, it is horrendous. Nobody wants to hit it, and it kind of makes you look a bit like a fool. After hitting maybe a great tee shot, you end up hitting it 50 yards in front of you instead of hitting the green. And the main reason for hitting behind the golf ball is weight transfer. So when I'm setting up to the golf ball here, and I've just got a mid iron, I've got an 8 iron. If in this golf swing I move too much weight behind the golf ball, if I slide my body weight too much towards the right hand side of the golf ball, it's very challenging for a player in a very short period of time to move all of that weight back so that you hit the ball and then the turf after, because that's the dream shot. We want to hit the golf ball first and then the turf just immediately after. That's when you're going to get your crispest strike, it's going to get the best ball flight and your best distance. Check your ball position. We never want to be hitting an iron shot too far forward in the stance. So for high lofted golf shots, such as pitching wedge and 9 irons, we want them absolutely smack bang underneath the chest, right underneath the sternum. As you go into a more of a mid iron, you can move that forward, but by about a ball, so your 7, 8 irons are more towards just left of your sternum. And as you go into your longer irons, your 4 irons, your 5 irons, your 6 irons, you can go about a ball and a half in front of your sternum, but no real more than that. You never want to be getting kind of 3-wood location inside the left heel or driver more on your left foot with an iron, because that's going to cause you to hit behind. Check that, record yourself, ask a friend, do whatever you need to do to make sure you're getting your ball position spot on. So tip number 2 is making sure, as I mentioned at the start of the video, that in the backswing we don't move too much weight behind the golf ball, because it's going to be so hard to shift it back towards the left again. So think about this. As you've set up to an iron, I've just got an 8 iron here, so I'm just in front of the centre of my stance. I'm looking at trying to keep my sternum over the golf ball during the backswing. So I'm going to rotate my body without the temptation of moving to the right. So I'm going to rotate almost around a central location in my body. So if I draw this line straight through my head, straight through my chest, down in the middle of my feet, in the backswing, I'm looking at staying absolutely fixed to that line so that I am not rotating off the golf ball to the left. That's going to get us into a great top of backswing position by using our body to turn as opposed to a big lateral slide, and it's also going to give you a chance of creating even more power in your golf swing. Tip number 3, and I've placed this golf ball in the middle of my feet to illustrate this best. Now that I've got a very centered backswing where I'm keeping my chest over the top of the golf ball during the backswing, and then want to encourage my weight to move to the left during that transition into the golf shot. So we don't want to hold too much weight onto our right. We want to be moving it over to the left so that the lowest part of our swing ends up hitting just after the ball. So let me show you how that looks. I'm just going to do a practice swing first without the golf ball. I'm going to keep my sternum over the golf club, turning into the top of the backswing, and then from this moment starting to move my weight around my left leg as I uncoil the golf swing, as I rotate during that downswing. So staying nice and central, turning into the top of the backswing, and then as I uncoil the hips and the torso, starting to drive more weight to the left. And as you can see from these practice swings, I'm going to hit the ground just after the location of the golf ball and this golf club that's located in between my feet. So just skimming the ground just after. And this is a great drill to do to get that feeling every time my lowest part of my swing took place after the shot. And then you're ready for tip number 4, which is actually striking the iron shot. So now that you've practiced those swings where you're hitting just beyond strike, you're ready to hit. Now focus your attention on just post impact. Focus your attention on hitting just after the golf ball. And the last piece of advice here is making sure that at the bottom end of the swing, there's not a temptation to want to try and add loft and flick up behind the golf shot, because again, that can be a reason why you could hit behind the golf ball or before the golf ball. So once you've got your setup and you're rotating around the middle of your body and then you're uncoiling around that left hand side, focus your attention on trying to hit a lower flighted golf shot, because that's going to give you the crispest strike, and making sure that you hit the ball and then the turf after. And that is absolutely crushed. So a recap, hitting behind the golf ball or before the golf ball is a no-no. Nobody wants to do it, and it's a horrendous shot to do. But following those tips, making sure you get your ball position correct, rotating more around the central column in your golf swing. As you rotate down and uncoil, move around to that left-hand side, and then look at when we come in to actually hit the golf shot to try and get the golf club leaning forward more. These are all ways that you're going to strike your irons better than before, and you are going to avoid heavy shots, fat shots, hitting behind the golf ball, hitting the big ball, the earth, before you hit that golf ball.